So the other day I was on Instagram and I came across this video of two climate activists pouring tomato soup over a Van Gogh painting in the National Gallery.
Security!
What is worth more? Art or life? Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice?
My first reaction was, wow, that's brave, and also kind of iconic. Later the same day, the National Gallery posted this on their Twitter. At just after 11 AM this morning, two people entered room 43 of the National Gallery. The pair appeared to glue themselves to the wall adjacent to Van Gogh's Sunflowers 1888. They also threw a red substance, what appears to be tomato soup, all over the painting. The room was cleared of visitors and the police were called. Officers are now on the scene. But there is some minor damage to the frame. But the painting is unharmed. Two people have been arrested. God save the Queen. I later discovered that there was protective glass over the painting, so the painting is completely undamaged. However, the gallery is claiming that there's minor damage done to the frame. The activists were arrested, charged with criminal damage, and yesterday they appeared in Westminster's Magistrates Court. So why the National Gallery and why Van Gogh? The art theorist in me likes to think they chose that painting because it represents the fragile beauty of nature, and the soup represents Andy Warhol's post-industrial consumer society tearing apart this fragile nature. I've got no idea if that's what they're thinking. They probably weren't. They were probably just looking for the most iconic painting in the gallery, and the soup, I think, was more of a reference to the cost of living rather than any kind of reference to Andy Warhol. After long campaigns of protest, Shell cut ties with the National Gallery in 2018 and BP cut ties with the National Gallery earlier this year. So this specific stunt wasn't about ending sponsorships, it was more of a general awareness raising stunt. When I looked at the comments under these videos, I was quite surprised at how overwhelmingly negative people's response to this act has been. A lot of them were quite personal and nasty comments, and other comments went more along the lines of, yes, climate change is important, but why would you attack the art? And what did Van Gogh ever do to hurt the climate? This protest doesn't make sense. Comments like these miss the point of why galleries exist in the first place. Gallery spaces are battlegrounds where culture can fight over what's important, what's beautiful, what's relevant, what values matter to a society. It's a place where important conversations can take place. By pouring soup on this Van Gogh, the activists have asked a very important and very difficult question that gets to the root of why we appreciate art in the first place. Why does a society that does not take care of its most vulnerable and that does not look after the planet value these paintings so highly? And the National Gallery, by taking the activists to court and charging criminal damage, has responded to the activists by saying, don't f*** with us. Galleries and museums always act like they're these liberal, even left-wing spaces, and it's in moments like these when we see their true colours, when we see that they're actually deeply conservative institutions concerned primarily with two things: preserving their wealth and preserving their status. Van Gogh's Sunflowers are worth roughly $84 million. That's an absurd amount of money. And it's worth that much because wealth criminals use it as an asset. When art's worth this much money, it no longer exists to serve the general public anyway. So I think the activists are entirely right to call this institution and its values into question by pouring soup over the Van Gogh. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you disagree with me, let me know down below. But I do ask that you keep it clean and respectful. Thank you very much for watching.